Listen, I'm not even ashamed to admit this, and I don't think I'm alone. Doesn't matter how straight you fly, man. Itsuomi be making you feel things when you watch A Sign of Affection. Like, who the hell wouldn't fall for this man? I'm not ashamed to admit it. Out of all the beautiful character designs in this show, this silent voice style anime with a deaf character who is set in a university setting, mature, sweet, that's all well and good. But this man who goes around traveling the world, learning every language in the book, he could be the biggest player of them all, and goddamn, there's something about the way he talks with Yuki, the MC, that I'm even like, I'm surprised panties haven't dropped collectively across the globe when he travels. I gotta be honest, I'm not ashamed to admit this. I had people in my comment section when I covered episodes 1 and 2. I saw it on Reddit. I'm seeing it. I know I'm not alone, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, but like, that's like the most attractive character in this show. In episode 4 specifically, there's 2 moments that I'm just like, Lord have mercy. So Oshi, right, the childhood friend dynamic, right, he ends up, Itsuomi ends up covering up Yuki's kind of eyes so she can't read his lips. And he's pretty much saying, don't grab her from behind. Obvious, very caring thing, like, hey, she can't hear, it can be extra scary for her. And he deadass says, she said it's okay if it's me. And I'm like, okay. And then later in the episode, he says, hey girl, I'm gonna take you in my carry-on bag and we're gonna go, and I'm like, I can't. How did they make such a charming anime character? Brilliant. If you want to see my full live reactions to both episode 3 and 4 of A Sign of Affection, they're over on my Patreon. This show has been a very pleasant surprise. I don't know if I'm going to continue to cover it on YouTube or not. The first video did rather well over time, but I do feel like this one's not going to do that well on my channel. So if you would like to see me continue to do the show, we're going to set a goal. Let's say 200 likes. You get me to 200 likes, we'll do 5 and 6 on YouTube. I think I'm going to double them up. I think that'll be a better way to do it. So if you continue to show me the supports here, we'll set it for 200 likes. Let the video do well enough. I'll continue doing it on YouTube, but elsewise, I'm going to keep covering this shit on Patreon because this shit even has me flustered. But episodes 3 and 4 were absolutely better than 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 already sold me on wanting to see more. The thing that I really appreciate, and I'm glad to see it continue into these episodes, that I appreciate about the first 2 episodes was that the kind of whole, like, what they were introducing as a love triangle, and the fact that there was already a girl that seemingly might be connected to Oshi, the kind of childhood friend dynamic, then of course Oshi liking Yuki, and Yuki clearly liking Itsuomi. Like, it was already starting to feel like we needed a flowchart, we need to have strings connected to who likes who feels this about who. It gets even more messy in episodes 3 and 4, but it doesn't seem like a bad issue. Something that I mentioned in my previous video, and I'm gonna mention it here as well, is that naturally in life, when you have friend groups, even if it's not even friend groups, like the person you're into or the person you're friends with might have connections that you have no interest in, and those connections might like them, right? That's just the way of life. The reason cheating and, all this kind of BS happens is when one partner isn't giving enough to the other partner and that other partner goes and gets it from another person. But if both partners are completely good with each other, there's never a risk that, oh, this coworker or this person likes me. It doesn't matter because they'll shut it down and say no is no. And we absolutely get that with Itsuomi as a character. So I wasn't sure what they were doing with this girl. Seems like she does have a drinking problem. I feel like she's constantly drinking, and even if she's a functioning alcoholic, she feels like she's probably an alcoholic nonetheless. She's bearing her feelings with alcohol. She wants a second bottle of wine just for dinner. Like, that ain't healthy. But the idea that when she goes over to our boy's apartment, it's just her. And he mentions how, like, hey, the last time I said this was okay because he was with you, but, this ain't cool. Stop it. She tries to get clingy. He throws her off. And, like, 5 minutes previous to this moment in the episode, we're basically trying to figure out, like, hey, who is this girl and is there a dynamic? Not family member, not this or that. They're just very close friends. But the fact that, his friend is so, like, I don't think anything will ever happen. And it was a very bold statement because it didn't seem like, oh, this is a friend covering for a friend who's a playboy. More so, he was like, there's no chance in hell. Turns out, she very much is into him. And that's no real surprise. Everyone and their mother probably is into our boy, let's be honest. But I love the fact that as soon as he gets inside the apartment, he just leaves. He says, don't do this shit anymore. I'm leaving. And then he goes over to his friend's house. It's very interesting because there is these dynamics of multiple characters liking the same person, but that's life. Sometimes you just don't realize it, right? Like, you can be in friend groups and have no idea how some of your friends might feel. Be like, oh, you see it all the time. You know, breakups happen in a friend group, and then a friend who showed at face value no interest jumps in, and now they're trying to make their move on that person you're with. It happens all the time. And I love the fact that even though there's so many, this person likes this person feels this, it's messy. You literally need a flow chart. It doesn't feel like there's any possibility that these main two aren't going to get together. Hell, the opening of the show, like the OP, shows them kissing. So I mean, I don't think that's all in their head. I think it's gonna happen. But something I really appreciate was that over episodes 3 and 4, we're building this genuine feeling that Itsuomi as a character is actually interested in her. Like, this isn't just simply all about learning a new language. I do personally feel that it started as that, and I really do, because he's the type of character who's very interested in learning as many languages as possible. And I think the initial intrigue of like, oh, this was something I didn't consider, sign language. I'm interested in you, teach me this sign language. I'm sure it started as that for him, but very quickly it spiraled. It did a snowballing effect within a couple of episodes that it started to become more than just a general interest, but more he started to really like her as a person. And I think by the end of episode 4, I mean, he invited her back to his apartment. And literally just previously in the last episode, I think it was in episode 3, wouldn't stay in an apartment with a girl by himself because he has no interest in said girl. The fact that he's inviting her back, I'm just like one step away to saying, hey, give me a minute, and shaving her legs in the bathroom. Like, that's where we're standing here. Like, this is insane. I wouldn't be shocked if we get a form of confession within 1 or 2 episodes. Because with the adult cast that we're focusing on, I wouldn't be opposed or shocked if they do it quicker than a lot of shows. At the same time, there's a lot of nervous energy, but it'll be interesting. I thought they were going to build up into the situation where he learns the sign for love, and she would at some point sign I love you, thinking he wouldn't know, and then he would sign it back potentially. She teaches him it in like the 3rd episode. It's around the laundromat scene in that area anyway. But either way, this dude and her are just, they're so cute. And it's such a rootable romance and relationship, and the drama and spice they're implementing, you just kind of feel bad for the other participants. Like, it ain't gonna work out for them, but like, it's really realistically well written. Like, it doesn't feel like it's forced or contrived. It's like, that's life, and life can be a bitch. Now, of course, those are my feelings on the past 2 episodes of A Sign of Affection. Let me know what you've been thinking, and if you tell me you're not into Itsuomi, you're a damn dirty liar. I refuse to budge on this, but you know, that's all jokes, but I know you're lying. Let me know your feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have full live reactions of both of these episodes over on my Patreon, and if YouTube doesn't deliver on those views, that's where this series will live. So show me that support if you want me to continue, and hey, while you're over on Patreon, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we have Durdberg Jude, Third Dynasty, and Artur Kunha. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.